When I lived in Maryland, our local Safeway used to make this pineapple turkey salad, and it was amazing. Well, now that I live in Tennessee, I had to figure out how to make it myself. It's pretty easy, and I'm gonna show you how. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. Today's recipe is a recipe for turkey salad using leftover turkey. So definitely your turkey needs to be cooked for this recipe, but it does not matter if it's white meat or dark meat, okay? Any cut of the turkey is perfectly fine. Not ground though, okay? You want it to actually be the cooked meat. So I have a lot of ingredients over here. I'm not nearly going to use all of this, but I wanted to show you what the ratios would be for 8 ounces of cooked turkey. Okay, so that's what I'm starting with. And I have a combination of the white meat and the dark meat. Okay, so I've got a thigh and then some of the breast here. All right, I'm going to use my little bowl. You can chop this up into cubes if that's how you like your salad, into bite-sized cubes, or you can just pull it apart, kind of shred it a little bit. I think it depends on how your turkey is. Like if it's a little drier, like maybe you overcooked it like I did this one, shredding it will get a little bit more moisture into it. So do it that way. If it's super moist, then go ahead and just chunk it up. All right, so there we go. We have 2 cups of shredded up turkey. Now we need to figure out how much mayonnaise. So for 2 cups, I'm gonna start with a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, okay? This is not Miracle Whip, this is regular mayonnaise. That's what I encourage you to use. And I'll start off with 4 tablespoons, which is a 1/4 cup. The amount of mayonnaise that you use, first of all, is a preference, right? And secondly, it depends on how dry your turkey is. So if you think you have super moist turkey, then start off with 3. I know mine's a little on the drier side, so I'm gonna start with 4. We can always add more. All right, so we've got 2 cups of the turkey. I always want the main ingredient to be the most plentiful ingredient in the dish. So we don't want any of the other ingredients or collectively to equal more than the turkey. Okay, so that's like a little rule of thumb when you're making up a salad and you don't know exactly what the ratio should be. So for me, I think 2 tablespoons of celery is gonna be good, which is hard to measure, but you know, a little handful, right? Usually when I'm using celery and onions, I'll use either equal amounts or slightly less onion. I think in this recipe, I'm gonna use about the same. So 2 tablespoons of celery, 2 tablespoons of onion. Then we have the star of our show, which is the pineapple. So that's the star, second to the turkey. So we're gonna add a little bit more of that in. So I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup. And I'm just judging, you know, here I'm guesstimating a little bit. All right, that looks good. Now remember, everything can be changed around. You want less pineapple, put less pineapple. You want more pineapple, put more pineapple. But this should be a really good ratio of ingredients. Now we need to add some salt and pepper. Again, this is subjective because it depends on how seasoned your turkey is and how much you like salt and pepper. I'm just gonna add in probably about a 1/4, maybe even just an 1/8 of a teaspoon. Yeah, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper to start with, and probably a 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and then we just mix it up and then we'll give it a taste and adjust as needed. All right, that looks good. Now, I probably would add a little bit more mayonnaise to this, okay? So I added in 4 tablespoons. I'm gonna go up to 6 tablespoons. Just looking at it, I can tell it needs a little bit more moisture. There we go. It even gets easier to mix when you have the right ratio of mayonnaise. That's looking really good. That's what I remember. Oh my gosh. Okay, that looks great. Probably just a touch more celery. So now we're to 3 tablespoons of celery. And we'll go ahead and add onions too. I'm gonna leave the pineapple alone. I think there's plenty of that in there. All right. That is looking like my Safeway turkey salad that I used to buy. Now I add one special ingredient just because I happen to love it, and that is slivered almonds. Totally optional, adds a little crunch, a little flavor. About 1 tablespoon is perfectly fine. All right, now the last ingredient, totally optional, that I like to add in are the leaves from the very inner ribs of the celery. Now, a little quick fact for you, the stalk, a celery stalk is actually the entire thing, and a rib is one of the stalks. We call them stalks, right? I say use 1 stalk of celery. I'm not talking about the entire thing, but that is technically what that means. These are the leaves from those very inner ribs, and they just add a pretty color, okay? You could use parsley if you wanted, if you didn't have these, but I always have some and like to use them in all kinds of stuff. They're great as a soup garnish too. All right, we look good. Now, ordinarily what I would do is refrigerate this and let the flavors kind of come together, but we're gonna go ahead and jump right in and taste it on a cracker. I think this is a turkey salad that is really good on crackers, but of course you can make a sandwich out of it too. All right, let's put a little bit on a cracker. Make sure I get a little of everything, and hopefully it's not too big of a bite. All right, that looks good. I've got a pineapple, I've got celery and onion. All right, this is kind of a big bite. The bite that never stops, right? Oh my goodness. You know, personally, it needs a little salt and pepper for me. But it's so good with a little sweetness from the pineapple. Oh my gosh, so good. All right, added another half a teaspoon of the salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper. So now we have a little weird measurement of the pepper, but you know, just add it to taste, whatever you like. All right, looks perfect. I will cover this and store it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to eat my pineapple turkey salad. Now, if this isn't quite your cup of tea, like you're thinking, man, I don't want pineapple in there, you could sub it for grapes if you prefer, or you can make a turkey spread, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's not chunky, it's very smooth, and you can see how I make that right over there.